In SAP Convergent Invoicing, raw billing data arrives in massive volumes. These are billable items, or bits, flooding in daily from external mediation systems, telecom networks, and cloud platforms. These raw records represent vastly different revenue streams, ranging from one-time hardware sales to recurring monthly subscriptions and fractional usage charges. To maintain a clean ledger, items from different business subprocesses must be isolated into their own separate billing documents. A standard batch process lacks the nuance to manage this variety on its own. It needs specific logic to distinguish which items belong in which billing run. Success in the billing stage depends on routing and filtering this data deluge accurately before the process ever begins. The primary tool for managing this data segmentation is the selection variant. The selection variant acts as a logic gate. When a billing process runs, this variant determines which billable items are extracted from the database by selecting only the matching records. This configuration is handled natively within SAP customizing, which means these complex segments are defined without the need for custom ABAP logic. Building this filter is a layered process. It starts with broad billable item classes and narrows down to specific sequence-based exclusions. This hierarchy provides the control necessary to construct highly granular automated billing pipelines that align with business-defined subprocesses. Step 1 involves defining the selection variant and assigning it to the relevant billable item classes. Suppose we need a variant named var4 to handle a mix of standard data charges and specific telecommunications records. This configuration view shows variant var4 mapped to two primary classes, tdat for data and ttel for telecom. This assignment identifies the foundational pool of data the variant is permitted to query. However, a class is just a broad container. If we stop here, the system will pull every single item in the class. We need to apply more specific criteria to refine the selection. In Step 2, we map specific billable item types to the class, which drastically narrows the scope of the query. Consider Martex Corporation. They use one massive master class, labeled HREV, to store all their revenue data. For a specific billing run, Martex only wants to process 3 specific types of charges, while ignoring the hundreds of others sitting in the same class. By assigning item types ZBT1, ZBT2, and ZBT3, representing one-time, recurring, and usage charges, to variant ZSV1, we define exactly what the process should look for. When this variant executes, the system effectively ignores any unassigned item types residing within the HREV class. This transforms a broad database pull into a targeted extraction of specific revenue events. Step 3 introduces selection numbers to manage complex exclusions based on source transaction types. These sequences allow functional consultants to build intricate Boolean logic directly in the standard configuration screens. Looking at the VAR4 configuration logic, we can see how sequence numbers are used to bind different parameters together into a single logic statement. In sequence 1, the system is configured to select billable item type TEL1 for the TTEL class. In sequence 2, for that same class, we specify billable item type TEL2. But for sequence 2, we also assign source transaction type 01 and mark it as excluded. SAP interprets these numbers using a specific logic rule. Attributes that share the same sequence number are linked by an AND condition. Conversely, attributes with different sequence numbers are linked by an OR condition. For variant VARV4, the resulting query is select items where the type is TEL1 or where the type is TEL2 and the source transaction is not 01. By utilizing these sequence numbers, an architect can map intricate business exclusion rules directly into the standard logic of convergent invoicing. Moving from individual tables to the overall architecture, it's important to note that the selection variant never runs in isolation. The structural hierarchy is straightforward. The architect defines a billing process, links a subprocess to it, and then assigns our selection variant, VAR4, to that subprocess. When the billing process triggers, it passes all raw items through the variant's logic tree. Matching items proceed to form the billing document, while non-matching items remain in the queue for a different process. This ensures that items belonging to different subprocesses remain separated, ultimately generating distinct billing documents for the customer.
Through the precise layering of classes, types, and sequenced source transactions, SAP architects can orchestrate highly specific automated billing without needing custom code.